Hello everyone, I'm Terry Nealey, your 16th District State Representative. Thank you for joining me on Legislative Update. Last time on this program, I told you that I am serving on the House Environmental Committee. This is a significant committee because it also considers all energy bills. The 16th District and its surrounding area is the energy hub of the Pacific Northwest. To the north of the district, we have the Columbia Generating Station at Hanford, which is an 1,150 megawatt nuclear power plant. The Snake and Columbia Rivers with their hydropower dams are directly in the district, and one of the first and largest wind farms was built by Puget Sound Energy on Hopkins Ridge near Dayton. We've long enjoyed low power rates in our state because of the abundance of energy, but I'm very concerned that's about to change because Washington has no clear long-term energy plan. No one is coordinating efforts on a unified strategy that matches the electric generation with the needs of our society. And that lack of coordination is compounded by the mandates of Initiative 937, which seem to be creating unintended consequences for ratepayers. I-937 was approved by 52% of the voters in Washington State in 2006. It requires electric utilities with more than 25,000 customers to have 15% of their power generated by renewable energy sources by the year 2020. However, one of the problems with the initiative is that it does not count hydropower as a renewable energy source. Hydro makes up more than 70% of the generation in Washington State. To meet the mandate, some of our utility companies began building wind turbines in areas of the state that are known for high-velocity wind. When the initiative was approved, it was believed Washington would have an increase in population and demand, but that has not happened, primarily because the economy slowed down. So now, 6 years later, we have at times an overproduction of energy sources. When the rivers run high and the wind blows hard, the combination of hydro and wind generation produces more energy than can be used or sold. There's no way to store this electricity, and spilling water over the dams is not generally a good thing because of environmental concerns. Until recently, our utilities have been able to sell the power to California, but now that state has passed a law to produce its own renewable energy, and they will not use our excess power. The Bonneville Power Administration, which provides about 35% of the electricity for the region, has had to pay energy companies about $2 million to shut down their wind turbines during oversupply. Because of the provisions of I-937, our utilities, such as Benton PUD, which is plentiful with hydropower, must now purchase the higher-priced alternatives to meet the quota. How does this make sense to force utility companies that are flush with hydropower that they can't sell or store to purchase another source of green energy at a much higher rate when they don't need it? And when utilities are forced to pay higher prices for electricity, guess who gets the bill? The end user. When I-937 was offered to the voters, opponents estimated it would ultimately increase electricity rates in our state by as much as $370 million a year. So in the Environment Committee, I'm saying that we need to get all the stakeholders, utilities, elected officials, consumers, employers, environmentalists, and others to come together to create a long-term, cohesive energy policy. We also need to slow down the process of expanding energy sources until the supply of electricity aligns with the demand. If we continue along without coordinating these efforts and without a unified energy policy for our state, eventually utilities will be paying a lot more, and that will mean higher electricity rates for our businesses, homes, and other consumers. Governor Inslee is a proponent of green power, and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as we coordinate our efforts and get on the same page with a long-term plan. It just does not make sense that in an energy-abundant state here in Washington, that ratepayers will be forced to pay more because we have so much electricity that at times we can't use it or sell it. As the legislative session continues, I'll keep you informed on these and other issues here on Legislative Update. I also encourage your comments. Visit my website where you can sign up for my email update and get my contact information, including my email address. You'll see my website address on your screen. So again, thank you for joining me on Legislative Update. I'm your State Representative, Terry Nealey.